Welcome back, everybody. It's Cape Rugby TV, and it's nice to have you along. Of course, we talk club rugby tonight. Big thanks to our partners on board with us, Score Energy Drinks. Of course, on board with Western Province Rugby and the Western Province Club Rugby Sevens, and you can win yourself a case of Score during the course of the show. We'll tell you a little bit more about how to do that in a second. MChem 24-hour pharmacy on the corner of N1 and Durban Road. Always open 24/7, and of course, Thorburn Security Solutions, your one-stop shop for all of the logistics that you need around your sporting events. Welcome to my panel this evening, Jerome Paarwater. Jerome, welcome back.
Thanks, JP. Good to be back, and it's good to still talk rugby. It's almost November, but we still talk rugby, so that's good.
It's unbelievable how the year has flown. It is one thing after the other. Faisal Felton, nice to have you back, Meneer.
Good evening, JP. Good evening, listeners. Always good to be back.
Yep. Right, folks, so we are going to do a lot of catch-up with you tonight. You'll, of course, remember that there was a big match between NTK and Belha. We'll bring you the highlights of that. We were, of course, unfortunately not able to bring that to you last week. We'll also take a look at the promotion relegation games in Super League C. Of course, big matches there between Busy Bees and Kylemore. We'll talk about the Score Western Province Club Rugby Sevens, and we'll also take a look at the playoffs between Masipumalele and Violets. It's been a cracker of 2 weeks. Jerome, you were at the Belha game. I mean, what a game.
Yeah, JP, it's and when I spoke to Francois Bontes afterwards, and I think Faisal, for the last 5 years, they were lucky. I mean, Belha had opportunities, but well done to NNK. I mean, we all thought, but they were working behind the scenes for the last 2-3 weeks. They not playing rugby, but they kept their guys going. So yeah.
You don't really want that though, Faisal. You don't want to be preparing for 5 years to stay out of relegation.
But I don't know, JP. I mean, maybe Jerome can have an answer on that. I mean, is it just the different, I don't know, styles of rugby, the type of rugby, the strength of rugby in Super League A? I mean, for 5 years, you know, you're struggling, not struggling, but you just barely surviving. But then at the same time, you're strong enough to beat the guys that are coming up.
Yeah, look, I don't think it's good for the club. I mean, every year they basically lose almost all the games in the league and then survive the last game. So that's also not good for the club. It's not good for the morale of the players. But I mean, the other teams, obviously, Belha used to play in the Super A, so they know what it takes, and they had opportunities, but it's just unfortunately that they couldn't win the game.
Well, we don't know. Let's take a look at the highlights. Let's take a look at the highlights from the match between Belha and NTK. It was a cracker of a game. It went down to the wire, and City Park is not always that easy once the wind starts blowing. So the dynamics of the game changed quite a bit. Let's show you some of the action. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-hour pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Right, folks. Well, congratulations, NTK. You survive another year. And I must say, Jerome, I know it's tough for Belha. Okay, it was a tough loss on the day. Didn't go their way. That's the nature of the game. You're always going to have a winner and a loser. But having said that, Super League B is a tough league. And for them to get to City Park alone is something we've got to give credit to.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, they work hard during this year. We know what Belhar can do, and I mean, they were a club who played in Super A, and I also think their supporters expect them to go up there the way their season went. But unfortunately, again, NNK survive again. But that's good for them, and I mean, obviously, it gives Belhar another year. Hopefully, they'll have a better year next year and win all their games. And then they can go up.
Well, I think isn't that what Faisal, is that what every club's looking for? Is that the thing? Is it always go up?
I think if you look at club rugby as a whole and look at where we are, is a lot of clubs all aspire to want to get promotion and that, and I think that's the ultimate goal. But I think where you're coming to is also understanding. It's like when you start moving up, it gets a lot more tougher.
Yeah.
It gets a lot more, the type of rugby, the structure of rugby. I think it's about how you adapt. And, a lot of teams that have gone up, all credit to NNK that survived 5 times on that, but you need to also understand, where you went wrong and what your challenges are.
I think, yes, certain clubs, I think, in Super B, they have the infrastructure to go up and play higher. Certain clubs don't have that. So I think that's maybe why they're disappointed that they didn't do, because they can certainly.
So one of the things that I actually wanted to ask you also is that if we look at, the fact is that in the season, the one club is a Super League B club, the other club is a Super League A club, and they both followed a sort of a line over the season. And when we got to the game day, it was I know that there was a winner and loser, but it looked quite 50-50 at times. Isn't that interesting that you've got it shows you that the promotion relegation system actually works. If you look at that, there was a fairly equal.
Yeah, that's why I say, well done to NNK, because I know people were thinking they're doing nothing, they won't have a team, but the last 3 weeks they were actually working hard, so it actually shows it pays off.
Yep.
I don't know why they didn't do it the whole year, why it always come to this last. So it shows they can play rugby, so do it the whole year. If they play in Super A next year, play and perform and do better.
Yeah, well, I suppose that's what they got to do. Frikkie Coetzee is, of course, the head coach at NTK, and Rayan Lombard, the captain. Let's hear what they had to say after the game. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Frikkie, big day for you guys today. This is what it all came down to. You had to survive in Super League A.
Yes, yeah, it was a tough day at the office, nerve-wracking, but we were fortunate to grind it out and to get the victory that secured our status in the Super A.
How was the feeling during the week, especially coming off the playoffs?
I think for us, we haven't played for 6 weeks. It was quite nerve-wracking to think and hope that the guys would be contact ready and game ready. Belhar came off 2 games in a row that they played now, so they had match fitness and stuff. And I'm just super stoked that the guys actually pitched today and performed to what we wanted them to perform to.
Rayan, leading from the front today, congratulations. You guys must be over the moon.
Yeah, we're ecstatic, eh? So we knew it was going to be a cracker. We knew they were going to throw the kitchen sink at it, but we had 6 weeks to prepare. I think we played 6 weeks last. Yeah. So, but we knew they were going to come for us. Yeah.
This game was down to the wire, though. I mean, we were looking at in the last 20 minutes or so, it was still 15-all.
Yeah.
Maybe the wind also changed for you guys today.
The wind helped us. We wanted to use the wind in the first half. Obviously, we played against it, and then second half we wanted to smother them, but yeah, it didn't work. They kept the ball well.
We'll leave it at that. Congratulations. Well done.
Thanks.
This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Right, there we go. Frikkie Coetzee, Rayan Lombard. Folks, we're going to take a break. When we come back from the break, we're going to move to the match between Masiphumelele and Violets. This was, of course, the playoffs at City Park this past weekend. Welcome back, folks. It's Cape Rugby TV. You're watching here on Cape Town TV, DSTV channel 263. Of course, every week we take a look at what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby. And it is our goal on this show to make sure that we support Club Rugby and that we promote that you sign up at a club near you. Of course, we also understand the majority of Club Rugby administrators are all amateurs. In fact, wake up in the morning, go to work and volunteer at a club. So we look forward to continuing giving Club Rugby exposure. Masi Pomelele was up against Violets. Faisal, this is a top 9, 3rd and 4th place playoff. For the folks that are just watching us for the first time, just tell us, what is a top 9?
So you have the top 9 competition, which take you back a bit. We had the regions, you had the top 3 going through, you had 9 teams. So basically 1 and 2 is guaranteed position to be promoted. And then 3 and 4 play off to decide who the 3rd team is to go up. And in Super League C, you have 3 teams coming down.
Right. Jerome, did you understand any of that?
A little bit.
Folks, it is quite a complicated process, but nevertheless, a big match this past weekend between Masi Pumelele and Violets. Let's take a look at the first half highlights. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Right, if you've just started watching, folks, Masi Pumelele leading half-time, 15-3 against Violets. Jerome, we're not going to tell anybody right now who goes up or down.
Yeah.
We have to wait until the end of the game. But your thoughts so far?
No, it's actually for me to see that score. I mean, Violets were really doing well. They were doing well in the set pieces. Their lineouts were good. Even the contesting was good. So you could see there's coaching in them. I mean, they're not like just one pot going up in front. They've got 2 pots. Their lineouts and how they want to play. If I saw their exits, how they want to play. So you can see their structure. And it's well done to Masi to score. The difference between them, because there was some times where Violet saw good hands, but they couldn't just finish. But Massey, the other side, when they're in their 22, they divert into points and they get their points.
Faisal, let's go to you quickly. Do you feel like Violets have had a bounce back sort of 2 years? I know we had COVID and all that, but do you feel like they've, I mean, you know, you don't get to City Park to play there, but Violets has been fast tracking their progress in the last couple of years.
No, definitely. I think they're a club, you know, it's got a well structure, good community club. They've got a lot of support. So I think, you know, where they are now at the moment is where they should be in terms of, you know, competing and that. They're a bit unlucky. You know, in the first half, looking at the game and that there, I think they should have had a lot more points on the board. But like Jerome said earlier on, you know, when it comes to coaching and that there, you know, they've got the structures within, they've got a good junior setup. So they're definitely a community club that, you know, you would like to base a lot of the other clubs on that model.
Jerome, you've been in the club rugby space a very long time. You don't, again, any club, you don't get to do this kind of activity without a lot of time and sacrifice. It's quite a significant effort for any club just to get on the field on a Saturday.
Yeah, it definitely is. And if you look at, like I say, if I look at the first half, and I can just see the buying of the players and the coaching staff and the sort of the whole management of the club, you can see what they're busy with doing. As Faisal say, they're a great community, they're a tight community. So you can see what they're busy with, and you can see what they want to achieve, and you can see the players buying. That's most important.
Right, folks. Well, of course, as you know, every week we go down to MChem 24-hour pharmacy and we take a look at their month's focus. Of course, at the moment, a lot is about your health and wellness. And of course, as we know, MChem 24-hour pharmacy is always there for you. Now, well, we know that today life is extremely stressful. If you just think about the current situation with load shedding, of course, we're bombarded every day with information. It's emails and it's internet and it's Wi-Fi and it's mobile phones. Well, you have to start thinking about your health. You've got to think about your general wellness. Well, Simone Aman is, of course, the manager for the health zone at MChem 24-hour pharmacy. And there's a full range of complementary medicine at MChem where they're, of course, able to help you with the right types of complementary medicine that, of course, helps you with things like you're improving your immune system, which of course, as we know, the lower your immune system, the more stress there is on the body. Now, of course, Simone Aman at the health center, at least the health zone, can give you the very best of advice. And of course, MChem staff are, of course, regularly trained to stay up to date with the latest information on complementary medicine. And of course, you also need to speak to an expert when you start thinking about the combination of the various vitamins and minerals and supplements that are available to you. Here's a little sneak peek behind the scenes from MChem's health zone.
It's so important to look after the health of yourself and your family this festive season. To help you do that, my team and I will be here to help you with anything from vitamins to minerals or any other complementary products you might need. We pledge to give you the best personal service that you deserve during this time of year and celebration.
Right, so get down to MChem 24-hour pharmacy. Well, you can get down there 24/7. They're, of course, open 24 hours a day on the corner of N1 and Durban Road. And go and speak to Simone Aman. She is, of course, manager of the health zone. She'll be able to give you the very best of advice. And join us as we try and have a slightly more stress-free life. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll carry on talking about club rugby. Back in a sec. Welcome back, everybody. It's Cape Rugby TV. Right, if you have just joined us, before the break, we were taking a look at the first half between Violets and Masi Phumelele. This is, of course, a playoff match to determine promotion into Super League C. The teams who won in the various leagues made up the top 9. The top 3 in Super Leagues A, B, and C ended up making the top 9, and they went into what's called the Promotion League. And this is the playoff between position 3 and 4 to see who gets promoted to Super League C. Let's take a look now. Second half, Masi Phumelele up against Violets. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Right, folks, so Masi Pumlele 15, Violet's 15, full time, at least, yeah, not full time because there's more time. But Jerome, we don't see a lot of what is happening in the last 2 weeks. We've seen 2 games go to extra time.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
well done for Violet's coming back from 15-3 to 15-all,
Yeah.
and then make it into extra time. But I mean, the difference is the second half, the passes stick. If they pass, they just get the balls through their hands and they score easily.
But I mean, this is what I was asking you guys about earlier on, Faisal, I mean, and Jerome. If you look at any sort of league structure, in the beginning there's big margins and big so on, but by the time you get to the finals, it's at finals, this day of the finals. Jerome, you've spoken about this many times, is that the finals is like a test day, and that the margins are very small and will be quite often determined by the small mistake or the small penalty. You've got 2 teams here who got to the finals, and just the fact that they played 15-all goes to show that the 2 teams tracked somehow to get to that sort of equal space. And you're showing a caliber between the 2 teams that is very equal.
No, Jopia, I think we've been saying it now for the last couple of months in this season, and that if you look at our competition, there's a climax, there's a build-up. This is the 3rd and 4th playoff, but it's still as exciting as the finals. So, you know, all credit, I think, you know, when it comes to club rugby and, you know, especially with the teams, you know, to be able to play up until the end, you know, it's fantastic. And I think that's the way we want to end off a season, on such a note where you have 2 teams who are leveled up at half time.
So Jerome, they are now level 15-all, they go into extra time. What are the players and coaches thinking about now?
Now, I'm pretty sure the first thing the coaches will say is discipline. We can't afford to give away penalties, because a penalty in the last second can cost you the game.
You've been in extra time games yourself.
A lot of times.
Well, let's take a look at, Jerome says it's all about discipline. Extra time, Masi Pumlele, of course, against Violets, going 15-all by the end of the game. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Right, so Masi Pumlele winning 22 points to 20 and beating Violets and thereby securing their position in Super League C. Jerome, let's just quickly talk about the nature of extra times. I get the feeling that when you're playing in extra time, if you are the first scorer, the secret is just hang on to that score.
Yeah, I mean, it's 10 minutes aside, so you must just hang on to the ball and play in the right part of the field. So you want to play in the opposition 22, not to give them penalties or give them an opportunity to get into your half. But yeah, I mean, on the day, Violet scored first, so they had the upper hand, and then they couldn't convert. Otherwise, it would have been Faisal, if it was 22 again.
Well, yeah, if it was 22 again, then it will be interesting because the pressure again is on Violets, because the team that ended highest ranked, which was Masi, would ended third, Violets ended fourth. It would have meant after extra time that Masi would have gone through.
As the situation starts now, well, in fact, we'll come back to this. Let's first catch up with Masi Pumlele head coach. SP Blakely is, of course, former Western Province rugby player himself. And we'll speak to Masi captain Rishwan Waris. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions.
Definitely. I mean, a lot of guys were hungry, and we had a good pre-season, and it's just I think with that 2-year lull, it was difficult to get guys back to playing. So that's why, winning team brings players. So that was the aim, just to keep winning until the guys can keep coming. Look, I believed in the guys. We knew we had it. We lost a few games, and we won a few games. But today just showed the guts that we have and the passion to the guys that we have for the club. Very proud of the boys. I think that for the community we needed it. There's a lot of guys from the valley that are playing at other clubs, and my main goal this year was to show, look, if you stay at Masi, lots can happen. So hopefully now by us winning this league, and being promoted, we can pull players next year.
Yes, definitely. It has been a long, hard season, some struggling times, but I believe in the guys, and we pulled it through. We did what we needed to do, and we showed some heart and compassion. Yes, we're extremely excited. Obviously, we had to show some character to the sponsor itself, to Warwick, and we stood up. We were accountable. It's Super C for us next year. We've got a lot to build on, a lot to learn, and a lot to conquer. It's not going to be easy, but we're definitely going to go out there and we're going to make our sponsor and our club proud.
This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Right, there we go. So, folks, congratulations, Masi. Faisal, so just in sum up, what happens here now? Masi Pumlele now goes 2023 play in Super League C.
Yeah, so they obviously promoted Super C, and then you had 3 teams coming down from Super League C that will play then in the regions. Okay. But I think what's interesting with those 3 teams, they'll basically be placed in various regions according to who went up, and also looking at the bottom 3 teams. Basically 1 to 8 play for position, 8 to 11 will be reshuffled according to the different leagues.
Far too much information for me, folks. Masi Pumlele, congratulations, you go up to Super League C. We'll take a break. When we come back, it's time for us to look at another promotion league. This was another big game over the weekend. Busy Bees were up against Kylemore. We'll show you this in a sec. Do not go away. Welcome back, everybody. The panel is, of course, today getting completely out of hand, but it's great to have them in the studio. Jerome Parvat has been with us now. I don't know, Jerome, it feels like you've been with us forever. You've been with us right from the beginning, 12 years now.
And you still look the same, JP.
And Faisal,
Yes.
of course, you as well, from the beginning.
Yes, definitely. I remember that day when we first started, prior to all the engagements and that. Yeah. It's been exciting, and I think we would have thought we would have had our own show.
I got Mr. H at City Park the other day.
Yes, we saw him on the day. It was, of course, a big day at City Park, and City Park was, of course, host of the various playoffs. The match between Busy Bees and Kylemore, of course, Faisal, Busy Bees Kylemore game. Kylemore, folks, for those of you that choose to pronounce it in another way. What happens here between these 2 teams, Busy Bees and Kylemore?
So basically, Busy Bees playing for survival in Super League B,
Yep.
and Carmel playing for promotion to Super League B.
Okay, let's take a look at the first half. Busy Bees up against Carlmore. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions.
Versus Calmore, and score is 5-4 between the two teams. 1-8.
This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. So big match there, folks. Busy Bees leading 15-5 against Carlamore at halftime. Jerome, how much of a difference? City Park, it's about that time of the day, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, the wind starts to slowly picking up.
Yeah, obviously, if you play City Park and you first half against the wind, you're obviously in favor the second half if you play with that wind, because that wind it's tough to play in that wind and play into that wind. You have to change your whole game plan. You have to go to plan B. You have to sort of keep the ball in hand, and if you're fit enough, you can play that game.
Faisal, if we look at this, and we kind of touched on this in talking about the match between Belhar and NTK, we spoke about this between the match between Violets and Masiphumelele. Here you have Super League B team Busy Bees up against Carlamore Super League C team. It goes to show that the two teams are quite equal again. It's another match that has, through the league structures, ended up at City Park. I mean, you must be happy that from a systems point of view, you've got the top ending up playing against each other.
No, definitely. I think, again, Carmel had a fantastic season. They ended now, third. They deserve it in terms of playing against, Busy Bees, who's coming now from Super League B. They had a tough season. They ended 13th, I think, in Super League B. So in terms of the playing field, I think it's pretty much level. The cherry on top would be Carmel, for them taking it and winning it and going up to Super League B. Obviously, Busy Bees have another chance to survive, Super League B. So definitely the competition structure, I think, is fantastic.
Right, folks, second half then, of course, Busy Bees leading 5-5 against Carmel. We will take a look at the second half, and we'll be able to see there who goes up to Super League B, or in fact survives in Super League B, or possibly goes down to Super League C, or survives in Super League C. This is promotion relegation game. But as you know, Score Energy Drinks is on board with the Score Western Province Club Rugby Sevens. We're going to talk about that in the next segment, so you need to stick around, because it is the Score Western Province Club Rugby Sevens that everybody's been waiting for. But if you want to win yourself a case of Score Energy Drinks, you need to join us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. Enter the weekly competition. Every week we take a photo, we make some changes, and we give you an opportunity. Let me ask my guests, Faisal and Jerome. Jerome and I have a tendency to get this wrong. Faisal has a tendency to sneak it in. Jerome, would you like to give it a shot? A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, and C3. Tell me where the ball is.
I think the ball is in B2.
So, Jerome, you're going with B2. Faisal Felton, you have
A3.
A3. You're going with. Why do I think that you know that where this ball is? Maybe, I don't know. Jerome, do you think he knows where the ball is and he's just being nice this week?
I think he knows.
He knows, eh? He knows. Right, folks, I'm going to abstain from this one because I, in fact, have seen where the ball is, so I'm not going to take the guess. Congratulations. Well, there's the ball right behind the player's legs in C3. Gentlemen, unfortunately, nobody wins the prize this week, the virtual prize. Congratulations, Ronwin Geduld. You are, in fact, this week's winner. We'll take a break. When we come back, we carry on talking club rugby. Don't go away. We're taking a look at the highlights of the match between Busy Bees and Carlmore. Back in a sec. Welcome back, everybody. Right, so before the break, it was Busy Bees up against Carlmore. Let's take a look. Second half. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Jerome, massive match. Carlmore wins, 24 points to 21, promoted to Super League C. I mean, I know we have to obviously feel for Busy Bees here, but let's focus first on Carlmore. Fantastic promotion for them.
Yeah, the previous game that I watched at City Park against Strand, Carlmore also came back the second half because Strand were far ahead. It just shows the fitness and the conditioning of
You think
Carlmore.
that's what it comes down to?
I really think that's what it comes down because they had to score tries and they kept the ball in good skills, playing the ball wide and score a couple of times. And they also, then Busy Bees start to get tired, so they also scrum Busy Bees at the end there. And I think the discipline of Busy Bees wasn't so good in the second half as it was in the first half. So again, and the kicker there at the last moment, they had to kick that ball over, otherwise there was extra time again, Faisal.
22-21, yeah.
Big result there, Faisal, for these two sides. I mean, for Busy Bees will be devastated. We've seen them a number of times at the annual event. Of course, in the past you were able to do it at Newlands. Busy Bees would come with the fans, the buses. That was one of the things that stood out for me on Saturday. It wasn't so much about the result. It was when I was watching the game, Carlamore was on the one side of City Park, Busy Bees was on the other side of City Park, and you could hear who was leading because the fans were cheering so loud, they were singing. The gees and the spirit of Western Province Club Rugby, that's what was the showcase really on Saturday.
No, definitely. I think on Saturday was fantastic. Like you said, you know, the crowd, the support, the screaming, the shouting. You would swear there's 5,000 people in that stand. And I think that's what it's about, you know. Like I said early on, you know, Carmel played hard. They had a good season. Like Jerome said, you know, they play a full 80 minutes. And I think, you know, Busy Bees are unlucky. But I'm definitely sure, you know, they will be back. They're a team that will come out even more, you know, in terms of fighting and that there. So they had a tough season. And I think, you know, it's about them going back now to the drawing board and do a lot of planning in terms of what they need to do for next year. I think the one thing is with teams coming down, JP, it's always about, you know, trying to get up again. And, you know, if you allow a season to slip by, you end up coming in that comfort zone. So I definitely think, you know, Busy Bees will definitely be
bouncing back. I mean,
100%.
Jerome, if we look there, the likes of Alfred Kiwana, who leads from the front at Busy Bees, he drives the spirit. He's been in this game a very long time. He will know that teams, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. And it's about just keep on doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, Alfred's been, I mean, he's one of the, almost like one of the founders guys there, he's so long there at that club. And he never give up. And I'm sure, like Faisal say, like they won't give up. Knowing Alfred, he'll go and he'll get the players and he'll do stuff. He'll come to us, he'll come to me, he'll come to Faisal. He's not afraid to ask, and that's one good thing about Alfred.
Yeah, it's an incredible, folks. That really is. If you were at City Park on Saturday, you will know the spirit of the teams. At the same time, Faisal, for Carlmore, this was also a milestone achievement. Is the fans from Carlmore came through they drove through in their buses. We heard the fans singing, as I said, so loudly. This is also an incredible occasion for Carlmore that's had a very tough season.
No, definitely. I think the community as a whole, I think, you know, it's good for them to be able to be playing in Super League B. And there in Super League B, there's a lot of, you know, the competition, the Peniel, you know, a lot of the other teams and stuff in the area and that there. So I think from a community side, they're going to come back with a huge bang next year, even bigger and even louder.
Now they got to go play in Super League C.
Yeah.
Let's catch up first. Head coach is, of course, Ivan Jacobs. He's very happy with his side, as well as Lee Erasmus, the captain for Carmel. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Hallo mense, ons is hier by City Park en saam met my is die afrigter van Carmel, Ivan Jacobs. Ivan, groot dag vir julle vandag.
Het was JP. Ek moet dit alle eer aan ons hemelse Vader vir die voorreg wat hy vir ons gegee het om rugby te kan speel. En dankie dat ons geen ernstige beserings gehad het deur die jare. En ek dink ons maak nog geskiedenis. En ek wil vir my spelers net sê baie dankie vir die opoffering, vir die harde werk en vir die deursettingsvermoë.
Die gees was groot ook in die stands vandag. Die Carmel, ek met die game, het was so close game en die game het soort van op en af gegaan. Op die een kant was dit die Busy Bees fans aan die een kant wat gesing het en toe was die Carmel 'n bietjie stil en toe was dit gedraai, maar dit was seker lekker om die fans hier so te hê.
Dit was baie lekker, JP. Daar's 3 busse uit Carmel uit. So die Carmel is nou leeg. Maar ek moet ook net baie dankie sê vir ons ondersteuners wat vir ons deur die jaar geondersteun het. En dankie ook vir julle dat julle vir ons op die map sit. En my guys celebrate en geniet dit.
Mense, saam met my is die wenkaptein nou van Carmel, George Erasmus. George, Groot dag vir julle. Julle is seker en julle noppies.
Ja, yes, JP. Eerstens wil ek Hemelse Vader en al die lof en alle eer gee wat die dag moontlik gemaak het. En ja, dis 'n groot dag in Kamo geskiedenis. Dit is die eerste keer wat ons in die Superliga B gaan speel. Dat het ons 7 jaar gevat. In 2015 is opgeskuif na Super C toe. En dit is aangekom. Well done aan die manne die result. Was nie maklik hier, but well done to the guys het gestak by die gameplan, ja.
Wat kom nou vir julle volgende?
Ek dink definitief moet ons vandag celebrate. Dit is 'n groot dag in ons geskiedenis van Kamo. En dan vorentoe wil ons gaan ons hard werk. Ons wil compete in Superliga B. Ons wil nie net daar wees vir 1 jaar en ja, dis ons plan vir vorentoe.
This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Right, folks, so let's quickly do a recap of the results from the last 2 weeks, and of course, including last week. As you know, then NTK with a win over Belhar. Of course, NTK survive in Super League B, and Belhar will now continue the battle in Super League B. NTK survive in Super League A. Sorry, folks. All right. Super League C, of course, saw the promotion for Kylemore beating Busy Bees 24 points to 21 in a match that went down to the wire and bounced left and right all the way through the game. And then we saw the second round finals playoffs for the first and second teams. And it was a 25-22 win for the Gardens first team. At least it was for Stellenbosch Coronations beating Gardens first team 25 points to 22, and then of course their second team also in the second round finals, Coronations beating Gardens 12 points to 6. And then, folks, of course, Women's League results this past weekend saw a 12-10 win for Blue Jets, and CPUT beating Eersterivier 50 points to 0. So Paarl Region, of course, is the big one this weekend, Faisal. This is a derby match that everybody's been waiting for. Paarl Rangers are up against Lower Paarl. This is going to be a humdinger.
No, definitely. I think, I wouldn't say the rivalry, but I think in terms of the community, and it's a massive game, and I think looking forward to it.
Jerome, you've been to these matches before, playing at the Forest Stadium. The fans are all there. Paarl Rangers against Lower Paarl. I mean, you don't get as derbies go. This is going to be a typical derby match.
Yeah, typical. And I mean, it's families against families, and it's friends against friends, and it's neighbors against neighbors. So it's tough. It's everybody wants to win.
It's going to be a big one then this weekend, folks. Paarl Rangers against Lower Paarl. Faisal, the big thing is, of course, the start of the Score Western Province Club Rugby Sevens. That starts now next week, 22nd of October. Let's quickly take a look at the pools, folks. Of course, there's many pools here for you to look at, but essentially you can see that on the screen now we have 3 different regions. It is the northern region, Pool A and Pool B, southern region, Pool A and Pool B, and then of course the Stellenbosch Paarl region, Pool A and Pool B, with a minimum of 8 teams in each region. Faisal, you're playing over 3 different regions, 8 teams structured in a Pool A and a Pool B in each region, as we just showed there. 48, I think it's 48 teams. I mean, there's a lot of teams.
Plus the ladies as well. So I think the interest in the Western Province Score Sevens is always fantastic. The attendance, the registration. So I mean, I think a lot of the teams are all looking forward to it. It's a nice way to end off the season. Again, we've always said it's not about the results. I think it's more about the mere fact that the clubs come together, they're able to engage, they're able to liaise with each other, and enjoy the day.
I mean, if you just look at the Northern A League there, you've got Durbell up against UCT, Kelsdriver, Belhar, Belleville, Elsies Rivier, Bishop Lavis. This is the first time that teams, this is one of the things that's unique about the Score Sevens, is players who have never played against each other before will be able to play against each other.
No, 100%. I think, it's not Super League A or Super League B or Northern Region against each other. It's a mix. And I think that's the fantastic thing, being able to test yourself and, measure yourself.
Jerome, you've seen some of the team names here. I see you sitting there with a big smile on your face.
No, as you say, JP, it's like teams will never play against each other. If you look at Silvertree, they're in the pool with Marties. They might end up playing against Marties. They will never play against them.
But you've said it many times. Sevens is a different game altogether.
It's a different game, and I mean the guys come out and they the skills on the day and the fitness and the quickness. So any team on the day can win any team.
and every team over the last few years has been getting better at playing sevens. I mean, the first year I think we saw Marty's win it, but the likes of Belleville have come out and won it. I think Hands and Hearts have won it.
Yeah.
And teams really come through the
Yeah,
structures,
and
and we see everybody being able to. If you might not be good at 15s, but you might specialize in sevens.
Yeah, in another good thing, Faisal, about this is I know Belleville didn't make it to go through, but they immediately started with preparing for the sevens in so many clubs. So they're still busy, and that's a good thing about the sevens.
Yeah. Gentlemen, we will have to leave it at that, Faisal. So just quickly, where and when for the score Western Province Club Rugby Sevens? The score Western Province Club Rugby Sevens.
Western Province School, yeah. Yeah, so like you said, we've got 3 regions, looking at Southern, looking at City Park, looking at Helderberg, and then, looking at still deciding on the third region. And that.
All right, folks, so stay tuned. Next week we'll be updating you on the teams, the fixtures, as well as the various locations. Make sure that you keep watching Cab Rugby TV, and we'll tell you where you can get down to watch the Score Western Province Club Rugby Sevens. It is a festival of rugby. It is entertainment that you want to enjoy, from jumping castles to all sorts of other activity and music blaring. It's great fun, and you're going to absolutely love it. Folks, we'll see you next week, same time, same place. Jerome, thank you very much. Faisal, thank you very much.
Thank you, JP.
Thank you.
There we go, folks. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. Have a fantastic rugby weekend. Bye-bye.